Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things. And we see them in today. We're going to be talking about that damn Ben Simmons. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, I have always said, at least for the longest time, that Ben Simmons is wasting everybody's time. I've always said this. Ben Simmons is wasting everyone's time, dating back to his final year with the Philadelphia 76ers. Let me just give you guys a quick refresher of the person that we're dealing with. Ben Simmons gets to the playoffs, I believe against the Atlanta Hawks, and has multiple single-digit scoring games. Then I believe in an elimination game, he has a wide open dunk. Instead of taking the dunk, he forces some terrible pass to his teammate and the play gets broken up. The minute he passed on that dunk, you could literally hear the air go out of the Philadelphia 76ers arena because everyone was in total shock. At the end of that game, they asked his then head coach, Doc Rivers, "Do you think Ben Simmons can be the point guard of a championship winning team?" He said he doesn't know. They asked Joel Embiid, "Hey, what do you think about that play?" He said, "I believe that play, that was a momentum swinging play." Ben Simmons heard those comments and essentially decided to throw a hissy fit and decided that he no longer wanted to be a Philadelphia 76er. This is Ben Simmons. He was more upset at what his coach and teammates said about him than his actual performance on the basketball court. And to compound that, Ben Simmons' production was actually on the decline. So what does he do? He decides to become a total nuisance. He decides he no longer wants to be a Philadelphia 76er, and he said he doesn't want to play for the team. That was the last game that he played. He said that he wants to be traded. They go through the entire drama marathon with this guy. He then has to come back to Philly after the team went to California to try to convince him. Just imagine. These guys got on a plane to try to go and convince him, and he said, "Please, just don't even waste your time." He comes there. He acts like a nuisance in a training camp, ends up being thrown out of the training camp, and then ultimately gets traded to the Brooklyn Nets. Hear this. He gets traded to the Brooklyn Nets. He's there practicing as the Brooklyn Nets are in round one facing the extremely defensive-minded Boston Celtics. We then hear, according to him, "Yeah, I'm getting close. I'm getting close to returning." Then out of nowhere, after the Brooklyn Nets went down 0-3, we hear that Ben Simmons needs back surgery. And a lot of us were sitting there scratching our heads like, well, if this guy needs back surgery, how did he pass his physical exam to be traded to another team? He then gets his back surgery. Then he comes back this season. One would have thought, okay, he's coming with a new mind, new team, coming out here to really show us what he got. And this season, Ben Simmons is averaging 6.9 points per game on 56.6% shooting. And some people say, well, that's fantastic, while attempting less than 6 field goals a game, 5.6 field goals a game, shooting a Larry Bird-esque 0% from the free throw line on 44% shooting from the free throw line, which is a 20% drop in his free throw shooting. 6 rebounds a game. What is he getting you? 6 assists a game, 6.3 rebounds. All of those numbers are down. 0.6 blocks per game and 1.3 steals. And now we have reached the point where it seems like him and his agency, Klutch Sports, are finally parting ways. But before we get into this report, this video is brought to you by sponsor Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the T-Wolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards, only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. Now, let me just get into this report that we're going to be reading here from Bleacher Report. It says, NBA rumors. Nets Ben Simmons, Klutch Sports mutually agree to part ways. Brooklyn Nets point guard Ben Simmons and his representation, Klutch Sports, have mutually agreed to part ways, according to ESPN's Ramona Shelburne. Simmons has been represented by Klutch Sports since being selected as the #1 overall pick by the Philadelphia 76ers back in the 2016 NBA draft. The agency negotiated a 5-year, $177 million contract extension in 2019. Simmons is expected to hire Bernie Lee as his new agent, according to The Athletic. The veteran agent has a long history of guiding clients through difficult spots. Klutch Sports represented Ben Simmons from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. During his 5.5 season with the Sixers, Simmons was a 3-time All-NBA, 3-time All-Star, and averaged 16 points, 8 rebounds, 7.6 assists, and 1.7 steals in 194 games from 2018 to 2019 and 2020 to 2021. The future looked bright for Simmons after he earned 3 straight All-Star selections, but things took a turn for the worse after the 2021 playoffs when the Sixers fell to the Atlanta Hawks in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Simmons was ripped for his performance in that series against the Hawks. He averaged 9.9 points, 6.3 rebounds, 8.6 assists, and 1.3 steals in 7 games while shooting 60% from the floor. The 26-year-old shouldered much of the blame for Philly's postseason exit, telling reporters after the elimination, "I didn't do enough for my teammates. There's a lot of things I need to work on." Simmons eventually requested a trade from the Sixers and didn't play at all for the franchise during the 2021-2022 season, telling team officials he wasn't mentally ready to play. Simmons was traded to the Nets until February 2022 in a deal that sent James Harden to the Philadelphia 76ers. During his introductory press conference in Brooklyn, he told reporters, "It was a personal thing with me that resulted in him not wanting to play for the 76ers. It was piled up," he added, "a bunch of things that was going on over there. I wasn't myself, being happy, taking care of my well-being. It wasn't about basketball. It wasn't about money." Simmons then didn't suit up in a single matchup for the Brooklyn Nets last season while recovering from a back injury. It is unclear why Simmons and Klutch opted to part ways. And there's some jokers out there that will still be sitting up there twerking it up for Ben Simmons, telling you, oh, how much of a great player he is. Really, if he's a great player, then why is he putting up those type of numbers? Then they'll tell you, oh, no, you don't understand basketball. I was teaching basketball at Harvard University, and I can explain everything to you. Well, apparently, his own agency wants no part of him because they said this guy is not serious. And some people say, but how do you know Ben Simmons is not serious? You can look at his production. That is a perfect way to tell whether or not somebody's serious or not. Ben Simmons is not serious. He's not even improving. He is regressing. He's regressing. And to this day, we don't really know what the cause of all of this is. So this is Ben Simmons for you in a nutshell. I told you guys he was wasting everyone's time. But I'm sure the Ben Simmons apologists and the guys that love the baby guys, they're going to be in the comment section telling me why I'm wrong. Hey, no, Ben, it's not Ben's fault. They'll blame it on everything except Ben Simmons.